The competition war between China and the United States just got even crazier because this one Chinese app single-handedly wiped out $1 trillion from the US stock market yesterday and sent shockwaves around the world. But just a couple of days ago, hardly anyone even knew its name. Today, however, they're calling it a Sputnik moment, referring to the day that Russia became the first country in the world to launch a satellite into space, marking the beginning of the now infamous space race. And just like then, this moment marks the beginning of a new kind of race, an AI race. And it's already shaking the foundation of global tech dominance. So here's why even Donald Trump is calling it a wake-up call. You see, 8 years ago, Vladimir Putin said something that has become a commonly used phrase. Whoever controls the future of AI controls the world. And for years, experts had been saying that China is years behind America when it comes to artificial intelligence. And low-key, the US government can kind of take a little credit for that. Because 3 years ago, they banned NVIDIA, which is the world's leader in AI tech chips, from selling to China. And that was supposed to ensure America's dominance, global dominance, when it comes to AI. But kind of like the TikTok ban, it kind of looks like that might have massively backfired. You see, because one thing is for sure, necessity breeds innovation. So this one small, relatively unknown research lab in China, known as DeepSeek, well, they were forced to rethink everything when it comes to creating AI models from the ground up. They didn't have access to the world's most advanced chips like the A100 or the H100 from NVIDIA, which honestly were thought to be essential for training the world's most powerful AI models. And instead, they claimed to use Chinese-made chips, which many thought were too slow or too inefficient for this kind of project. But boy, thought is the key word there, because the result? They managed to create an AI model that is just as good, if not even better than OpenAI's most advanced model, and here's the kicker, for 90% less of the cost. Man, for perspective, OpenAI spends $5 billion, with a B, billion dollars. Oh God, this is like the LA fires thing all over again. $5 billion a year, right? And then they also spent $100 million just to train GPT-4, while DeepSeek, to create this entire project, $5.5 million with an M. That is so staggeringly low that when people saw this in their paper, how much they say that it costs, a lot of people refuse to believe it. They're saying there ain't no way. That's like the equivalent of running a Ferrari on the budget of a used bicycle. The numbers just don't seem real. I mean, just a few days ago, this is crazy. Some of the biggest US tech companies, right? They invested $500 billion with a B, let's do that again, just on AI data centers, right? And then just a couple of days later, they see China, no less, create this for under $6 million? Hell, of course the US stock markets are gonna crash. Because they're thinking like, God damn, if this could be achieved for like 95% of the price, what am I investing my billions for? In fact, NVIDIA, the chip maker that was thought to be the most essential for creating any powerful AI, well, their market cap lost nearly $600 billion in a single day. That is the biggest drop for any company in US history in a 24-hour period. Oh, but it gets crazier because DeepSeek did one more thing. Not only did they drop this AI model for free, I mean the audacity, while OpenAI is charging $200 a month, but they also dropped it open source, meaning anyone, anywhere can access the code, improve it, adapt it, and even use it to build their own AI models for free. This is insanity. And here's the wildest part. By dropping it open source, they've now created a global ecosystem of innovation with AI because thousands of developers are already building on top of their work. It's like throwing gasoline onto an AI fire. This is... Oh, and it's also incredibly ironic because OpenAI is closed, right? While DeepSeek is now literally OpenAI. the wrong name. In fact, they have caused so much disruption by doing this that after they shot to #1 in the App Store, they were forced to temporarily limit user registrations due to large-scale malicious attacks on its services. I mean, you only wonder because you just think about the amount of money that is being lost and is now being put into jeopardy from doing this. Was someone pissed and just trying to shut them down? Now, let me kind of like bring down the hype as well, because it's not all perfect. Unlike OpenAI, DeepSeek has, that Chinese censorship built into it. People already been showing that you can't ask it about any sensitive questions that, well, China may deem sensitive. You can't get it to talk about Tiananmen Square. You can't ask it for criticisms of the Chinese Communist Party. You can't ask it to criticize, Xi Jinping. And honestly, you probably can't ask it a lot more things that we don't even know yet. This is just what people are putting online. And hypothetically, let's say, Chinese AI becomes the most advanced in the world and like everyone starts using it, the equivalent to like OpenAI. That's kind of worrying because a lot of people use chatbots now as like an alternative to Google, and they use it for information gathering and learning. And so if you can't rely on that thing that's giving you information to be giving you the full truth, then that's a pretty dark future that we would be going into for freedom of information. And there's also another issue, by dropping it for free and also open source, they've made it accessible not just to researchers, but also bad actors. This could honestly supercharge disinformation campaigns, hacking, or even AI-powered scams on a global scale. Honestly, this is powerful stuff. And then there's also the conversation of what this move has done for the AI race, and then what that might do to the safety of AI advancement. Because you think that OpenAI and all the other US tech companies are just going to sit back with all their billions and billions of dollars and just say, let's let China win. Hell no, that ain't gonna happen. What we are all witnessing right now is a serious inflection point in this race to create the most advanced AI humanly possible. And it just got freaking serious. And that is also scary, because this AI race was what so many experts feared would happen. Because, in the rush to outpace competitors, because companies are increasingly likely to cut safety corners and ethical concerns, governments will be more hesitant to impose AI safety regulations in fear that it would slow down the progression. And this honestly could lead to AI systems being created or put on the market without a full understanding of the consequences. I mean, there's a reason that Vladimir Putin, of all people, why his quote became so popular. Artificial intelligence literally has the power and the potential to reshape the world. And while most of us hope it's for the better, it could also be pretty bad. Because of how fast it can learn from itself and advance, it could easily outpace what our everyday systems are prepared for and cause catastrophic disruption. And honestly, whatever China is doing right now has got the US shook. And then banning AI chips to be sold to China was just one thing in a wider pattern of what they're doing. They've placed 100% tariffs on Chinese EV cars, because if you ask any car expert, any YouTuber car person, they'll admit that if Chinese EVs were allowed, just open the floodgates, let them into the United States, they would destroy. I mean, me and my brother just went to China over New Year's, and Elliot, he freaking owns a Tesla. He loves that car. Yet we saw some of these Chinese EVs that were more advanced from brands that you've never even heard of, more advanced than anything that we've seen before. Also, at half the freaking price. I mean, he admitted himself that their self-driving was more advanced than anything he has experienced with Tesla. And Tesla is like years ahead of all of the competition in the West. And it's not just cars and AI. Roughly a month ago, they shocked the world yet again when they revealed their 6th generation stealth fighter called the White Emperor. And that was so disturbing because, for years, the US has by far been the leader in creating the world's most advanced fighter jets. Yet their 6th generation fighter jet program is still in development. Oh, and let's not forget Chinese freaking social media. They came along with TikTok and its insane algorithm and changed social media like we've never seen before. All the US tech companies started copying it, and now they're freaking banning it. Or I guess at least own half. And I know this sounds like some freaking Chinese propaganda. It's not. right? It's simply a fact that the competition coming out of China right now, almost on every level, is terrifying for America. I mean, not only because they don't want to lose their global superpower status, but also because China has a political system that is completely different. I mean, you know how many wars the United States has fought to defend democracy against communism? And now you've got a freaking communist country competing with America on so many different levels. That competition is not just competition. This is like a war for them. And then with all of that going on, you got us here in the middle. Hey. We're just trying to make it to see GTA 6 release. It's so intense. I think that's enough yap for the day, huh? Full news roundup for the week coming on Thursday now. I promise, with many whippings to remind everyone, subscribe. We're gonna hit that 1 million real soon. My goal is June, but let's hope. So, I'll see you there. Love ya. Bye. Woo!